All right, so take a look up here. So as we are building our proofs today, okay, the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to do dragging and dropping to structure your proofs, okay? I told you I was going to have you write them in, but that tends to get a little ticky-tacky in terms of some of the details. And so what I want to focus on first is getting them in the right order, and then we can talk about what it looks like when you actually write them up, okay? So some helpful tips for you as you're doing this. Number one, you're going to list your given information first in the order that it's presented, left to right in the problem. So you've seen these problems. It says given, and then there's some information, comma, some information, comma, some information, and you're going to list those pieces first off in your structural proof. So as you're submitting your court documents, right, the first thing you're going to document down is what was given to you. And so if it goes 1, 2, 3 left to right, it's going to go 1, 2, 3 in your columns that you organize things. Now, the statements that you are, laid out for you at the very beginning of your proof, that's what we would call the given statement. So it would be statement and then given, statement and then given, statement and then given. Now, after that, you're going to list out any implied or observed information and the reason why you imply or observe that. And then the last thing that you're going to do is you're going to say, now that I have enough information, whether it's 3 sides or an angle sandwiched between 2 sides or 2 angles and a side on the outside or a hypotenuse and a leg, whatever it is, you're going to then say, oh, these triangles are congruent because of this particular reason. Okay, so that's what we're going to do is we're going to take that sort of informal write-up that we did the other day and we're going to formalize it. And so it's going to look a little bit like this. So let me see if I can zoom this out a bit here for you. And it might be helpful for you to zoom your screen out a little bit so that you can see the entire proof and your options down here on the bottom. Now, the first assignment that you're going to do, every option has a place to go. There are no distractors down here at the bottom. Everything down the bottom you're going to use, okay? And you're going to build your statements and your reasons accordingly. I think I could probably go one more zoomed in here. Okay. So, like, for example, you could see that the very first statement I'm given is side PQ is congruent to side ST. So then I'm going to come down here. I'm going to find my given piece of information. Here it is. PQ is congruent to ST, and I'm going to drag that up there into its spot. And that, of course, was given information. So then I'm going to take my reason given, and I'm going to drag it over here. Make sense? So then the next piece of information would be what? Okay, so QR is congruent to TR. Good. So I'm going to look for that. I'm going to drag that up there, and I'm going to put it in the second spot. And, of course, what kind of information is this? This is given, so I can reuse my things. Now, this is where it gets tricky, right? Because you can reuse these, and maybe you use them more than one time. You're going to have to decide that, okay? And then so on and so forth. And like I said, on these first couple of proofs that you're going to be doing today, everything is going to be everybody gets a spot. There's no distractors. You can see that, I only have a certain number of lines and I only have a certain number of pieces of information. So these will help you kind of get the feel for how you're doing them. Okay. They won't all count out evenly though, because you have things that you'll like the givens you'll use multiple times and stuff, right? But all the reasons and statements you will use once. Okay. Or well, not, I can't say once, but everybody will have a spot up there, right? You'll use at least one time. Okay. Now, let me show you something. You will start to see problems that look like this. All right. Now, take a look at the given information. How many pieces of given information are there here? There's one. Because it's not separated by commas, right? There's one piece of the given information, and that is that side SQ bisects angle RQT and RST. Okay? So that would be your given information. So just because you have this here, Alyssa, pay attention. Just because you have this here does not make it given. The only time it's going to be given is if it's listed in the given section of the proof. Does that make sense? That means that I'm putting a piece of information over here, but you have to figure out the reason why. Okay? But if it's not listed at the top, then it wouldn't be considered given. Does that make sense? You understand why I'm doing that? All right? There's a reason for that. And so you have to make sure to know that Given will be written in the top of your proof. If it's not written in the top of your proof, then it's not considered given. Okay? Gentlemen, why don't you close your iPads because you're obviously distracted. And so then you're not listening to the instructions and you're going to miss something important. All right. Now, so here's the deal. For these proofs that we're going to do today, all right, I'm going to break them into 2 assignments for you, okay? So there is assignment 6.3B1, you can see right there, okay? And then there's going to be assignment 6.3B2, okay? Now, let me show you what B2 is going to look like here. So when you get to B2, the first set of questions, there's going to be you're going to use all of those lines that are up there, but now I've included some things at the bottom that don't belong in the proof. So now there's some distractors down here. So you're going to have to figure out which ones belong in the proof and which ones don't belong in the proof. Okay? Mia, go ahead and close your iPad because we're doing instructions right now. Okay? All right. Now, once you get past this, we're going to get to where you need to be for your test, which is the next section, where now I'm going to put blanks on every line in the proof. You might not use them all for the proof, okay? And so what I have for you written in there, you'll see right in the middle of your screen, is a little N/A. You see that? That stands for not applicable. That means that you're going to build your proof until you have enough information to say those triangles are congruent. And then if you have extra spaces left over, you got to drag those NAs in there. So you're going to have to decide how much information do you need to prove those triangles are congruent. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay? So that's the second assignment. But you got to get the first assignment done first correctly. So now I'm going to give these to you a little bit differently today. All right? Instead of in the past, like how you've been able to access your answers instantly, this time you're going to have to complete the 4 proofs on assignment B1, submit it. You're going to get a score. If it's not 100%, there'll be an option for you to retake it. I'm going to give you 4 retake tries, okay? So then you have to retake it, go back in, and it'll show you what you have correct, and then it'll show you which ones you don't have all the points for, and then you'll have to go back and fix those. And then you resubmit it, and your score hopefully goes up until you get it to 100%. When you get to 100%, you let me know, and I will open the second assignment for you, and then you're going to do the same thing on the second assignment. But you're not going to get the answers until you submit it, okay? So do the best you can, get it, as close as you think you can get it, then submit it, and then come back and fix it, okay? Everybody got the idea of what we're doing? It's a little bit different today, all right? Okay, so when you get done with the first one, so I'm going to assign the first one to everybody. When you get done with the first one, then you're going to move on to the second one after you get 100%, all right? Now, if your finger isn't working well for you with the drag and drops, you like to work with a stylus, you're always welcome to borrow one from me. But that's what we're rolling with today. Okay? All right. So I'm going to go ahead and assign that first one for you.